Hello, hi everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of our new podcast, Declutter, to Simplicity. We decided to do a lighter topic this episode. Spring is in the air, and we thought probably a lot of people are going to start thinking about some of the winter clutter they've accumulated, or just have like an itch to clean, or maybe they just wanted to start their minimalist journey today. So we thought, you know what? Talking about our wardrobes could be so easy and light and also practical. Wardrobes are a great place to start because they're solely yours, especially if you have like other people in your household. And you can make some cutthroat decisions.
I completely agree with that. Let's get going. We have some questions that we put together. So first question: how many pieces of clothing do we have? So how many jackets? How many shoes? We're gonna leave out any accessories like hats, gloves, etc. So let's start with you, Anastasia. How
Yeah.
many pieces of clothing do you have?
This is what I have. I have 3 jackets and like a shacket or something similar that you're wearing. So 3 jackets. So we live in Canada. We live in Ottawa. It gets up to minus 30 degrees Celsius here in the winter, and then plus 35 degrees Celsius in the summer. So I have
Yep.
1 jacket per season.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna first talk about the clothing. I have 23 clothing items that includes everything that I'm wearing. But then I looked into my shoes. Like, what the hell happened? Okay, guys, I quit as a minimalist. I have 10 pairs of shoes plus flip flops.
Audience is gasping.
Cancel her. Um, I know exactly how that happened. Historically, I've had only 4 pairs of shoes, one per each season,
Right.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the perfect amount. And then last year, something happened.
What happened?
I have so many people who love me in my life and just give me things. So for example, my husband, he knew that I wanted to get into running. We're an active family, and so one day he brought home like 2 really good pairs of shoes, running
Mm-hmm.
shoes. He surprised me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh, I tried both on, and one is a perfect running pair, but the other one is a perfect pair, not for running, but like kind of long distance walks, which we do with
Okay.
our dog, who's a husky. So I'm like, hey, can I keep both?
Mm-hmm.
He said yes. And then I was helping my mom-in-law declutter her closet, and I got some nice like fall shoes from her. Then I have some leftover shoes from the office days. Long story short, I can think of at least 3 pairs of shoes that I can sell or donate today, like easy, no questions asked. The rest is questionable. But the reason why I didn't know that I had so much is because we have very minimal amount of furniture and clutter, like knickknacks, or like our surfaces are pretty clean. Minimal furniture, like I said, and things are organized.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like 3 bins. One bin for my baby's shoes, one bin for me, and one bin for my husband, and everything fits.
For me, I have 2 jackets. I have a winter, very winter jacket, as Anastasia pointed out. It gets very cold during the winter. It snows a lot. It rains a lot. We have something called freezing rain,
Yeah.
which a lot of people don't experience in the world.
Oh, yeah.
We experience it here. So I have this winter jacket that is waterproof and everything, and then I have a nicer jacket that is also winter but is not weatherproof, and that one was very big and I was not wearing it. And then I decided, and this is a point that I like to make for minimalists, especially people that are very tall like me: have a tailor, have someone that will fit your clothes. That way you don't have to give away and buy a new item. It's an item that you like and it's still looking good. Go to a tailor, have him fit for you, and then you can wear it for longer, right? So I have this second jacket that I wear even more when I go to the office. I have 3 pairs of shoes. So I have sneakers that I wear every day, and then I have a pair of flip-flops, and then I have a pair of winter boots. I have a fourth pair of shoes, and we're going to get into that in a future question. They're dress shoes, and I wear them with my suit.
Yeah.
So overall, I have about 50 items, give or take.
That's not really minimalist of you.
No, but it's
What
coming
is
down.
your
It's coming down.
not problem area, but what is your, like, what do you like to buy?
T-shirts. So I'm a big rocker. I'm a musician. I love rock. I love blues. I love metal. And the souvenir, in a way to support your band. I don't stream music. I have the music. I have the MP3 files on my phone. I go to the concert and I buy the T-shirt. And this is something that I stopped doing a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And now I am downsizing my band collection of T-shirts.
You're like, well, this one sucks now, so like
No, yeah, well, that too. I definitely
I'm kidding.
change a bit my style and what I listen to, definitely.
Yeah.
But also T-shirts get old, right?
Yeah.
They turn gray from being black, and the collar, you can see it in the collar when it goes, it's starting to go. So if it's still in a good shape, kind of in a good shape, I cut the sleeves and I wear it at the gym.
Oh yeah.
Or if it's still comfortable, but
Yeah.
the print, it's starting to go,
Yeah.
I wear it as pajamas.
I've definitely converted T-shirts to like gym wear for sure.
Yeah.
I have only one, but yeah, it's looking so trashy.
What is your style, and has it evolved over time?
Yeah, it definitely has. So I became a dog mom first, and then I became a human mom second. And so when I was a kid, I was always a tomboy, always, always. And I feel like you should listen to yourself. Like when you're a kid, like that's the purest form of yourself. This is who you are, right? And then we get jaded, and then things change, whatever. So who you were as a kid is,
Right.
you should pay attention to that person. So I was a tomboy. And then I went to university, and I was like working at a retail store. Long story short, just was like buying things that were really pretty but weren't my style. So I never felt attached to my clothes at all, because it was just not me, right? It was just like someone I created, basically. And so then as we got a dog, she's a husky, and she's just so active, and we have to walk her like rain or shine. So the way my schedule changed is, when I was just like, I would wake up and just go to work kind of thing, now I had to like run with the dog and then quickly go to work and then come back from work and quickly walk the dog. And
Right.
it was like this perpetual cycle, and things needed to be practical, or they needed to have they needed to be like multi-use, right? And so I started moving towards athleisure, when like athletic brands make things for work. Like that is my sweet spot.
Oh yeah.
I love that. And then now I basically have athleisure again that's looking a bit nicer than what it looked during COVID.
Right.
And I also have a bin of like one pair of work pants, one sweater, and one work dress that is just like, office vibes. Just like you won't wear it anywhere else. It's just like pure corporate love. So that's what I have.
Awesome.
What about you? Did you always have this style?
Kinda, but it has evolved a little bit. So especially before the pandemic, I was working at an office full time, and I would have to wear a tie more than once a week.
A tie?
Yeah, so I would have always button shirt and then a tie and sometimes a jacket.
Oh my god.
I would just wear my suit pants because I was already wearing a tie, and I would wear the dress shoes because it would look weird with the sneakers and the dress suit. It just looks kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I would have the pantsuit on, button shirt, tie, jacket. It was optional, right? So with the pandemic, this is for the office side of things. With the pandemic, and now after the pandemic, I'm wearing to go to the office athleisure pants, the school kind of office pants, but they're their fabric is kind of,
Yeah.
it's not really suit, but it looks like one.
Mhm.
And then button shirt, no tie. So it was my job interview. One of the questions was like, so what about the dress code, tie, no tie?
Yeah.
No tie. So I donated all my ties and I kept one for weddings.
For special occasions.
So no jacket ever. So my suit jacket now stays with my suit in the closet until the special
So how
occasion
many
happens.
dress shirts do you have?
I have three.
3.
I have 3 dress shirts that I bought them a bit oversized, and then I went to my tailor and I tailored them to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And they are the same brand. They're the same.
Yeah.
And they look great, and I can and then I have 2 sets of the dress pants, and that's pretty much the combination that I do for work. Outside of work, during the pandemic, I took a very hard look at myself, and I realized that this is who I am. I am a rocker, and I support the bands in my teams, right? Like people already know from my description, I'm a big Formula One fan, so I have my McLaren T-shirt on. I also love basketball, so I have some Lakers gear. I love baseball, so I have some Dodgers gear. And I support my teams and my music. And before that, I felt like I was playing a character, like a persona, that I was not being true to myself.
Yeah.
So I would have all these different shirts, T-shirts, and different colors and different things.
Yeah.
And I was playing to an audience kind of like situation.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to wear this because it's going to play better and where I'm going. No. Now I am myself.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we have a fun question here. Is there something in your wardrobe that you have one of?
Yes.
So I'm gonna read this because I don't remember it, but I have one coat per season, which I talked about,
Yep.
which is not really like I still have the 3 or 4 coats.
Right.
I have one pair of shorts. I should also note that summers here in Canada are like 2 months, 2.5 months. Okay, 2.5 months.
Yeah.
But in the 2.5 months, you don't need more than one pair of shorts, really. I have noticed. Okay, pajama pants. Okay, this is a funny one. So I have these pants that I bought at a store that's not pajama related.
Pajama related stories. You heard it first here.
And so, you know, they're linen pants kind of for the summer to just like walk around, whatever,
Right.
go to a brunch. And
I love this. I love this.
And so, you know, the summer came and went, and then I kept wearing them at home because they were just comfortable and whatever. And, you know, my other pair of pajama pants were going. So they were dying on me. So I got rid of those, and then I just converted these ones. So technically, I sleep in them, and then I get out of bed, and I can go for a coffee. I can go for a walk. So I have one beach cover, which I didn't really count as like a clothing item.
Right.
But whatever. Just if anyone's interested. And then I have one pair of snow pants because again, walk the dog in -30 at 7 a.m. It's just a necessity. And then workout leggings. Just one pair.
Perfect.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay. So I'm also going to read from the list because I don't remember what I did. Okay. So I have a pair of gym shorts.
Yeah.
And I have a pair of swim trunks. And then after we were doing the meeting to looking at the script and everything for this episode, I realized that my swim trunks were being kept in a bin that I called like season clothing and whatever. And I was not wearing my swim trunks to go to the gym. And then yesterday when I was going to the gym, I was like, you know what? Why do you have swim trunks that you're not wearing?
Yeah.
So I put them on. I went to the gym and they're perfect. So now I
Yeah?
have 2 gym trunks, and one of them is also swim trunks.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, let's wear everything we have.
Yeah.
Which is also another good thing about
Yes.
minimalism is that we wear everything we have.
Absolutely.
So I was like, why is this sitting here?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna start wearing them. And
So-
this is a great segue into our next question: is how do you know when it's time to declutter your closet,
Yeah.
and what principles do you follow when decluttering? Basically, how do you declutter your closet?
So with me, 2 things happen. So after each season, I reassess like what did I actually wear? Because I was living my life for an entire season, I was doing things, I was meeting people, I was active, and then so I'm just like, I'm really not reaching for this. Like, I'm really not doing this. And as here in Canada, we're reaching the end of winter, I just gave a few things to my nieces because I'm like, well, I wasn't reaching for this at all because I
Right.
have like a duplicate ish kind of situation. So, and then the second thing is, when I get up in the morning and I feel like I have nothing to wear, and when I start not feeling good about myself and how I'm dressed, like
Right.
I get like, I'm just like, even when I put together an outfit after I feel like I don't have anything to wear, I'm like, ugh, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, like what? It's just no confidence, no self love there. I just like feel like blah. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, this is the time when I need to take a hard look about what I have and what's going on here. Because what happens with me is that I wake up and I need to make fast decisions, and every decision I make should be the best one. So I actually have a method which comes from my background of moving around a lot, and I talked about it in the first episode. But I call it the suitcase test. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the carry-on, the carry-on, not the bigger suitcase, the
Not the
carry-on
medium,
test.
not the large, the carry-on one.
And I think about it this way: I look at my wardrobe and I'm like, okay, if I was to go on a trip right now, immediately, like immediately, no questions asked, like what would I throw in the suitcase? Like, and I know, like, and I think most people know what they would like immediately throw in because they're like, okay, so these pair of pants because I love them. They're the best. This like t-shirt, like three maybe or two because they're the best. And then like a sweater and a jacket, right? And like my favorite pair of shoes because like they're, pretty and I can walk everywhere in them. And like it's like the decisions are immediate. So I think there are two ways to declutter too. There's an extreme and a more gentle one. An
Right.
extreme one is when you take everything out of your closet
Right.
and you just put it on, the floor and the bed. And I found just from personal experience working with other people is that it's really aggressive. Like people immediately get overwhelmed and then the process is really tiring for them, and then they get like just really upset
Mm-hmm.
after. Like they're kind of happy that they've decluttered,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just like really low in terms of their energy. And so there's a gentler way, I think, is when you just go into your closet, like you peek in, you make sure that the floor is empty, so there's nothing on the floors. It's just like, there's no like laundry clutter or God knows what clutter, or like that chair, the beautiful big chair where that collects everything you
Right.
have, that's clean. And then you just kind of peek in and you're like, okay, well, this is my favorite, this is my favorite, this is my favorite. You kind of just put it to the side. And then everything else that's not your favorite, you kind of, it goes in the other
Right.
part of your closet. And then you can like take it out one by one and think about it. And I think that's a bit more gentle,
Right.
and maybe less overwhelming for people.
And you're staggering this. You're not doing this in one shot.
Yeah,
You're
you're
kind
just
of
kind of
going,
staggering.
yeah,
Exactly.
I also think that's better because then your people are not overwhelmed by the fact, oh, all of my things are going away, right? Because people, we have feelings to the things we have, right? So
Mm,
we are attached to them. So it's kind of like it's ripping almost a part of you.
absolutely.
So it's important to have that time. The one thing I will say about putting everything on your bed, if you have a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff, it's nice to actually see how much stuff you have. Not necessarily you need to start decluttering immediately everything, but it gives you like this shock and you go, maybe I have too much stuff. But then you would put everything back on and start in a later day,
You
that
know,
day or another day, you
and
would start
yeah,
going, okay,
and you know
let's,
what happens? There is a sense of fatigue as you go like bend to your bed, take out the thing, and as you're carrying it to your closet, you're just like, why am I spending my energy on carrying this back where I truly don't feel good about this? Like, maybe it's a maybe, but probably it's a no.
yeah,
So then I think that's again a bit more extreme, but it gives like, yeah, like you can see what you have, you get overwhelmed, but perhaps it's a good overwhelm. And then
Yeah.
as you're carrying your stuff back, you're like, whew,
It's the aspect of maintaining
yeah.
your things. Because
Mm,
people, when we buy things, sometimes we don't think it through. This is now a part of my life
yeah.
for as long as this thing is a part of my life. So
Yeah.
now I need to maintain this,
Yeah.
right? And you
Yeah.
need to take care of your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's important.
So tell me, when you started to declutter, is your
Yeah,
closet the first thing that you decluttered?
yeah, it
And then how
was.
did you do it? Like, talk about like your experience.
When I moved from the big office to the small office, and I put together a couple of built-ins and I put them in the wall, and I realized they would not fit everything I had. So basically, right there and then, I was like, "Oh, this is a great opportunity for me to declutter some things."
Mm.
But I still had a lot of stuff, so I had this pull-out drawer that had glass on it, and I had all of my band T-shirts
Mm.
on. I had close to 50 band T-shirts, and I
Yeah.
remember that because
Yeah.
it looked like I was in a store,
Sure.
like a rock store. And I
Yeah.
would open the thing, and it gave me like a sense of accomplishment. Oh, I've been to all these concerts. But then at some point, especially when I moved out of the house, and I had to kind of go through the. So then what I did is I was putting on every single T-shirt that I had and
Ah.
see if they still fit and see if I still like that band and also
Yeah.
see if they were still in good shape, right? So
Yeah.
the rule that I follow to declutter, if it's not a 9 or a 10, it's gone.
Okay.
I know it's a bit aggressive,
Yeah.
but that was the thing that I needed to do to go
Yeah.
from like 50 band t-shirts. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
close to 15, 14.
Oh, wow. So, ever since you kind of moved out, and
Yeah.
you've been living on your own, have
Yeah.
you decluttered since then?
Yes, I have. I have
So,
decluttered a bit more.
how did you know that it was time to declutter?
Again, when I move into the condo that I'm in now, I was kind of like also similar to the rule that you did with the not reaching for them.
Mm.
I started looking at the band t-shirts that I was not wearing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I haven't worn this in like a year and a half. And then there are some t-shirts from my favorite bands that I was not wearing because I was preserving them. And then I was like,
Ah,
why am I preserving these t-shirts? Let's
yeah.
wear them. So that's another thing that
I know.
it's all in your mind.
Yeah.
Basically, you're
Yeah.
saving clothes that you don't wear for what? Wear your clothes.
I know.
Like declutter the ones you don't like, but wear the ones that you like.
Yeah, and I think all stuff that we buy, they're meant to be used. And it doesn't matter if it's a piece of clothing or a coffee mug that was
Yeah,
like a lot of money and like from this amazing potter or
yeah,
whatever, or
yeah,
God knows what. Like you need to use your stuff, like you bought it, and every time you use it, you're gonna feel so good because it's so special what you bought.
yeah,
You just like when you're drinking that
yeah.
coffee or wearing that t-shirt, you're just like, ah, you know? So okay, what do you do for special occasions or formal events?
So we touched a bit on that. I have a suit. I used to have three suits. Now I have one suit.
Mhm.
And again, it was tailor made, so it's perfect fit. I have one tie that was a gift from one of my best friend's wedding. Every single best
Hmm.
man got a tie, and it's a perfect
Aw.
tie. It's I like slim ties because
Yep.
I'm very tall.
Yeah.
So the bigger ties, it just it's not a good
You look
fit.
like a clown, basically.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
was not trying to say that, but it's exactly what I
We're
meant.
having honest conversations here.
Exactly. I used to look like a giant clown.
Yeah.
So it's a slim tie. It's gray. It goes perfectly with the shirts that I have and the suit that I have. So I
Yeah.
have one tie. I have one belt. I have a tie clip. I have one suit, and I have one of my three dress shirts. It's
Hmm.
a purple one, and it goes perfectly with everything.
Yeah.
And I have the dress shoes.
Yeah.
I have one pair of dress shoes.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Not a lot of my friends got married, or if they did, most of them eloped. So I think I've only been to two weddings in my life. Um, one was like 2012 or something like
Right.
that, so really long time ago. And I had a dress that no longer fits, after a baby. Your body's different, nothing fits me. Um,
So what did you do with the dress?
So I donated it. It was pretty dress. And then same thing happened with the other wedding we went to, like 6 or 7 years ago. So also pre-baby.
Right.
And now we potentially have a wedding this
Okay.
year. I don't know when, like summer or fall or whatever, but it's stressing me out because I don't immediately have anything to wear for it. I think I have the shoes and, like, let's say the accessories, but then like something needs to go on my body. And again, I don't know what season that will be, so, or the location. So yeah, I'm a bit stressed, but I think that I've been thinking a lot about it, like since our friends got engaged in like January or something. I've been thinking
Right.
about this for 3 months now because I'm
That's totally fine.
like, what am I gonna do? And I think the solution that I've come up with is, I need to. I would like to have a dress,
Right.
and then so I know that it needs to be, of a certain material and color, and it needs to be kind of stretchy because
Mm-hmm.
I have a child, but also like I like to dance at weddings, and I'm
Right.
just like I'm a fool. So,
You're not a
things
fool.
just happen,
You're just having a great
I'm
time.
just having a great time.
I was at a wedding about 2 weeks ago, and I had my dress shoes on, and I had my sneakers.
Ready.
Yeah, well, it was the hotel, right? So
Yeah.
I told the bride and the groom, "You're gonna see me disappear, and then I'm gonna come back without the tie, without the jacket, with sneakers on because I plan to dance." Because
Yeah.
it was a rock band playing,
Oh
so
my
it was definitely
God.
my style of music. And I've never been to a wedding where the band only plays rock music. So
Yeah.
it was Beatles, it was the Rolling Stones, and all that. And
Oh,
I was dancing so much that the
you're.
band later we were talking. They were like, "Well, you're a big fan of rock." I was like, "I am, I am."
You're like, no.
Yeah, no, I just
Never,
no,
never heard.
never heard of them. Beatles, Rolling Stones, never heard of them. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I changed into my sneakers, and at one point I was the only person dancing on the dance floor,
Did
and
you?
I
Did
don't
they? Did
care.
they play the Scorpions?
They did not play the Scorpions. I was waiting for that one,
Oh,
but it's fine. I don't. Yeah, it
you
was.
you don't hold you don't hold grudges. I when
No,
I,
I don't. No, no. Liking the things that the type of
yeah,
music that I like. If you
yeah,
start holding grudges,
yeah, yeah.
oh, you didn't play Whitesnake. Oh, you didn't play this band. Oh, you didn't play the Who. No, it's never gonna happen.
No, I the Scorpions is my favorite. And when I was pregnant, it's all I listened to. I don't know why. I just like, and normally I listen to like house music. Sorry guys, give us a minute.
Well,
Not normally
you listen to Scorpions because they're an amazing band.
they're an amazing band. They're
They've been
incredible.
going for 50
I
years.
know. And okay, yeah. So basically, I have an image of this dress,
Right.
and so now I know what I need to hunt for.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I'm not going to buy anything that's not what's in my vision, because
Right.
what I've learned the hard way is that when you buy something that you didn't truly want or was not in your vision, you pay
Mm-hmm.
twice. Or even more times, you buy like a belt that was almost the thing that you wanted, but it's
Right.
not the thing that you wanted, and then you bought it and you're like, this is not what I wanted. So then you go out and you spend even more money.
Right.
So I don't want that to happen to me because it happened to me way too many times. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, I have this perfect dress in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to happen. I'm
Yeah.
almost manifesting it.
And take your time, right? The beauty of being a
Yeah.
minimalist is that when you do a significant and important
Yeah.
purchase, you
Hmm.
take your time. You
Yeah.
don't have the instant gratification of buying the thing. Oh, I'm gonna buy it right now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy it right now. No, take your time because it's an
Yeah.
important. Every purchase a minimalist does is an important
It
purchase.
is, and I
Yeah,
wanted to be a dress where I can wear it in all seasons here in Canada.
that's great.
In any country I go to, I can
Hmm.
dress it up, I can dress it down. It needs to be like a truly universal piece that maybe I'll spend a little bit more money
Yeah,
on, but then I'll take care of it. And
yeah,
if it needs to go into my carry-on suitcase, it will.
right,
It
exactly.
will perfectly fit in there. So I'm hopefully that exists.
Obviously, we speak through our clothes, right? When we are interacting with other people.
It's a uniform,
Yeah,
right?
it
And I
is.
think uniform is not a bad word. I feel like for some people they could be like, oh, but that's like limiting or something. But maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's liberating because maybe your uniform is when you feel your best self. Like when you put on the clothes that you love and you know that it's your uniform,
Yes.
you just like feel so happy, so confident, and then it translates in everything you do that day.
It's
So
true.
like you get on a phone call, you're like bossy, like let's get shit done, like you're writing an email, you're just like, yeah, I feel so good, like everything's gonna
Yeah.
be okay. Like,
In part because of the clothes we're wearing. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah. And the cool thing about the uniform is that when you wake up, if you don't have like hundreds of pieces of clothing, it's easier to make a decision right there and there, exactly what you talked about before. You don't have a lot of time because you have a baby and a dog.
mhm,
I want to have clarity, and I want to have, because I'm not a morning person, so when I wake up my brain is not there yet.
mm,
So I need to have, oh, that's it, that's what I'm wearing today.
yeah.
I don't want to have like 25 different choices. I want to grab the thing and say, that's the t-shirt you're going with today.
Honestly, if it was up to me, I would wear like a light t-shirt and a pair of jeans for the rest of my life. Like this is and like sneakers
Yeah.
situation.
So let's do it. If I could, I would wear shorts for the rest of my life.
Yeah. But if you lived in Brazil,
There
then
you
like
go.
it's
Yeah.
cold here.
That's not a go-to in Canada
Yeah.
all the time.
That's what I do. Like I
Yeah.
just wear a t-shirt and
Yeah.
jeans or like a tank and jeans and
Yeah.
I always feel clean, elegant, put together, confident. I know that every angle looks okay by me kind of thing. So they're
Yeah.
happy with that.
So there we have it. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for listening to us. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram. What is the question
The
of the week?
question is, so is your wardrobe something you're struggling with, or have you found the perfect amount of clothing for yourself that you love and you use? And it doesn't have to be a minimalist wardrobe per se, but I'm just curious, like, what if people have, let's say, 100 pieces of clothing, but they love and use everything they have? So let us know where are you in your wardrobe journey?
Awesome. Until next time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.